Alright, let's go ahead and load up iMPACT, which is the software that will let you actually program your device, configure it. Now, before you can do anything in this software, you're going to have to do one thing. And that is, you're going to have to get your JTAG cable and connect it to your computer and the device. Your JTAG port is this USB port on the side. That's the only thing it's used for. You can't use it with your FPGA as an I/O. Connect that to any USB port on your computer and turn on the device, which is this switch up here. Don't worry about all the extra connections I've got. This board to the right you won't be using. This keyboard connector is not part of our project. This is stuff I've been working on. Same goes for these LEDs right here. They're lit up because of my project. Alright, so go back to your computer, and it's going to ask you if you want to automatically create and save a project file. Select No. Select Cancel. And then double click on Boundary Scan. Anywhere in this white area right here, right click, and then select Initialize Chain. So long as your device was successfully installed and the driver was successfully installed, whenever you connected it, that stage will work. If you're getting an error right now, then something went wrong with the driver installation, which you'll need to resolve first. Or it's possible that you just didn't wait long enough for the thing to initialize. That's also possible. Okay, assuming it worked, it's going to ask you if you want to continue and assign a configuration file. Select Yes. At this point, you're going to have to locate your project and find this core.bit file. It will be named whatever your top level module was, .bit, in your projects folder. So select Open, since that is the correct one. It's going to ask you if you want to assign a configuration file for a flash PROM. This is what we would be using if we wanted to load a persistent configuration into our device. Meaning, whenever the device starts up, whatever is in the PROM is what's going to be automatically loaded and run. Right now, that is a project that I'm working on. For learning and debugging, it's not necessary to store anything in there, so select No. Then select Bypass twice. Make sure Verify is not selected, and click OK. At this point, you'll notice the first square is green. This means we have a configuration file that is loaded and ready. Right-click on it, and select Program, and it will be loaded into your device, and your device will be reset with that new configuration. So you'll notice my LEDs went off, since it's no longer being controlled by my configuration file. Now, let's go ahead and move these two switches on the right, which are the least significant ones that we used in our project. Turn one high, two high. You'll notice that that least significant LED that we assigned the value to has now lit up. It is a basic hardware AND gate. Any one of these goes off, and so does our LED. Congratulations, you've just done your first successful configuration, assuming everything went according to plan. You've implemented a hardware AND gate which controls that LED based on those two switches. It's a very simple configuration, but it's a good way to get started. Now let's assume that you wanted to make this permanent. Double-click on Create PROM File. It's going to ask you a couple of questions. Xilinx Flash/PROM is what is present on this device. Click Next. Auto-select PROM. You can manually select it if you want to, but it's not necessary since this thing can detect what's on there. Checksum fill FF, that's the default. Output file name, I would recommend you name it the same thing as your bit file. Output location, make sure that is your project. Project folder so you can find it. File format of MCS. You can use many of these, but MCS is what I'll be using. Select OK. Select OK again, and then select that bit file that we initially selected a little bit ago. It's the one that's your top-level module name.bit in your project folder. It's going to ask you if you want to add another device. Select No. Select OK, and you're ready to double-click on Generate File. It will say Generate Succeeded whenever it creates that file. Go back to your boundary scan. Right-click on this second device, which is your flash PROM, and assign new configuration file. Select core.mcs. This will again be named whatever you gave it. If you followed my recommendation, it'll be your top-level module name .mcs. Open. And at this point, it is now loaded in there, and you can right-click and program it whenever you choose. Make sure Verify is selected and Erase Entire Device is selected as well. Click OK. Since this is Flash PROM, it's a lot slower. It takes a while to do. That's why it took a while there. Once you've done that, it is loaded into the Flash PROM of this device, which will be automatically loaded anytime it initializes. So say I cut the power and turn it back on. You'll now notice that my configuration wasn't loaded, the LEDs are off, and instead our AND gate configuration is in there. That's all you need to know for getting started. I will get into some more advanced constructs on what you can do in this language in another video. I will be covering things like creating modules of hardware that do various tasks, connecting them inside of our core, and also how to do other kinds of assignments. It's all very important stuff. I'd recommend you watch it. So until next time.